We are in St. Paul, Minnesota, home of Blackstack, where the stack is not black, but they're working on that.
One day.
There's a massive stack. We should mention like where we're at. This is Murph, and this is Matt, and I'll explain their roles in a moment. But first, about the building. This is a massive facility that at one point was where they made all of the cans that Spam was served.
Yeah.
So this giant space that used to be an industrial facility for like 100 plus years, and then it wasn't used for quite a while, and then you guys took it over.
Yeah, and initially it was what we thought would be too big for a long time, and very quickly got to a point where we needed a space. Like right now we're in what was supposed to be the event space, and that's obviously no longer happening, as there's a bunch of stuff happening all the time.
Well, the tap room is ginormous.
Yeah,
and the fact that it's like very spacious, that probably served you well with everything that happened the last year or so, right?
Yeah,
the fact that everyone feels comfortable being far enough away from each other.
Absolutely. It's about 5,000 square feet. We can fit like almost 300 people in there. So
that's perfect. That's perfect. We should mention, Murph, that your family had like some knowledge of the beverage industry before you opened a brewery, and this was a decision that you came to after a lot of thought and everything. But like, you're not a stranger to the beverage industry,
No, my
growing up, right? I mean,
no. My dad used to be a distributor. Started bringing in a lot of beer from Europe and was doing really well with that. And then ended up bringing in a lot of companies that are absolutely massive now.
In terms of like European styles, you have an Italian Pilsner.
Yeah, it's one of the two beers that we make with any consistency.
Okay.
One of the only two beers that we make.
Now it's called Fugazi.
Yeah, I'm drinking one right now, and it is.
I'm familiar with the band. I'm not familiar with the style, because I believe in Italian Fugazi means like it's all messed up, right?
Right. It's like a fake. So
it's a fake.
Like the Donnie Brasco. So it says the real deal. The joke being that like our American interpretation from Minnesota of Italian. So it's kind of the joke being that it's a fake, but it's like. We spent a lot of time on it. We're very proud of it, but the joke being that it's not actually Italian, obviously.
You don't do a lot of brewing, but you like come up with the beers, right?
Yeah, I did a lot of brewing up front. Now we have a killer team.
It's okay. We're on after 10:30. We can beat that out. No, go nuts.
No, we have an incredibly talented team, like including Matt. We have Al, like a bunch of dudes who are extremely dialed. Now every time I get in the brew house, I just screw something up. They're like, no, give us the recipe. We got it.
Matt, does he get in the way? Is that what I'm hearing? Or
no, it's
I'm out of practice, you could say. I'm a little rusty. So like my numbers are like these guys they're absolutely dialed. So it's like, oh, that's what we were hoping for. That's what we were like. That's exact. And then every time I'm like, it's not quite there. Oh, like it's it's once you haven't rode a bike in a while, it's you don't forget how to do it, but you're definitely not winning any races right out of the gate when you get back into things.
Never been to a brewery though where the guy who comes up with the recipes is also like the copywriter. I mean, this here you can't read it all. It's like a Mad magazine, like all of the jokes that are on there, right?
Yeah, man. We love sneaking in little Easter eggs.
So you're pushing the boundaries in terms of like the attitude and the copy, but also on the inside of the cans. Is that safe to say?
100%. Absolutely.
These fooders that we're surrounded by, this was your baby.
Yeah, so my background is all mixed fermentation, oak, cellaring, oak aging. And so Murph's been wanting to do that forever, so I'm like, yeah, let's make it happen. Let's keep it going.
And you need someone who's an expert in that because things can go screwy real quick with this.
Absolutely. That's like why like a lot of times when people want to start a sour program, it fails. Like it's not just put it in a barrel and let it go. It's you need to monitor the heck out of it, and whatever it's telling you, you got to massage it into the direction you want to go, but also realizing that it's wild yeast is gonna do what it wants to do.
Blackstack is available all across Minnesota and in parts of Illinois and all over where?
Yeah,
how far do...
We're pretty consistently in Wisconsin. We're starting to send some beer down to Iowa, hopefully a little bit more in Chicago. We've been sending stuff to Tavor, so they'll send stuff pretty nationally. Arizona, Washington occasionally. Everything's fairly limited outside of our market, just so it's, if you see it, grab some of it because
I've heard you're big in China.
We just started sending some beer to Asia because been reached out to by some amazing partners, and we're like, well, I'm really nervous about this, and they're like, it's going to be on a reefer truck. It's a refrigerated truck, straight to a refrigerated plane.
Reefer truck, by the way, means refrigerated truck. I'm not doing a show with Cheech and Chong over here. So the beer is kept cold the entire time it leaves St. Paul to get to China.
We're very concerned about that. Quality is something that, one of the few things that we take very, very seriously around these parts.
It's all jokes until you're talking about the quality of the beer.
Exactly.
And then they seem to take that deadly serious.
Right.
Like we're even like pasteurizing our sour stuff just to make sure it's
right. None of the sour bottles are not pasteurized, but any of the stuff that's going into fooders with fruit, or stuff coming out of fruiters and going into cans with fruit that's unfermented, we pasteurize just because we don't want to see cans exploding for people if they forget it in their trunk or something.
Right.
But it's something that makes us very nervous, and we want to make sure that we always have hands on it.
Well, I mean, when you're spending that much time and effort on something, and then to give it up to somebody, like you don't know, right?
It's the last mile, man. It's like
you have only control over beer at the tap room, like with the stuff that you put on reefer trucks. That's once it leaves, you've got to kind of have a moment where you wipe a tear away and you say best of luck.
Bye. Come back, call soon.
Summer vacation.
Blackstack in St. Paul, named after the stack that's in front of the brewery.
That will one day be black.
Is not black.
One day.
But it will be if the weather cooperates at some point. Is it just a matter of it's a lot of paint because it's a huge stack.
I mean, we've gotten bids, and it's certainly not going to be cheap. But there's also
FAA requirements.
Well, so it's 149.5 feet. So part of it is.
If you paint that thing black, you're going to have a plane flying in.
Yeah. Well, it's got little lights. We're thinking if they'll let us put some stripes, but they also you're only allowed a certain amount of signage, and they're like, you guys are at your limits.
The stack it may not ever be black, but the beer is outstanding. So when you're up here visiting the Twin Cities, make sure you visit Murph and Matt and all our friends here at Blackstack. Fellas, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
And cheers.